Okay, what's up, everybody? We are back for another week here, and we are talking about what is still the number one story in the world, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We do have some breaking news right now. What happened just as we were getting ready to go live is Jimmy Kimmel was canceled. That hilarious comedian we all watch every night, the one that everybody loves. No, of course not. Of course I'm not talking about Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel sucks. His show's terrible. It gets terrible ratings. Less than like 1 million people were watching it every night. And the key demographic, it was getting like 100,000 viewers. I mean, that's like worse than a small YouTube channel. He was so bad. We could go through just all the terrible, terrible monologues that Jimmy Kimmel's ever had. We'll play a few here for you today. And people already are going, oh my God, but Republicans, they hate cancel culture, and now they're canceling Jimmy Kimmel. First of all, the Republicans had to deal with getting canceled over the most benign bullshit for years, okay? People were getting fired from their jobs for saying all lives matter. Gina Carano was getting fired for saying that, leftists shutting down free speech were like the Nazis. Okay, why is that offensive? Republicans get compared to Nazis all the time. No one gets fired. Gina Carano was. Roseanne got fired. She was completely canceled. Milo was canceled. The Alex Jones was canceled. All these people got canceled, okay? And now Jimmy Kimmel's canceled for all the stupid shit he says. And really, it's not even a real cancellation, okay? Jimmy Kimmel was going to get fired anyways. His ratings suck. His show loses tons of money every year. This was just the excuse his network used to get rid of him, okay? Way different than what was going on back in, 2021 during COVID. People are getting canceled for telling you the truth about vaccines and all that kind of crap. So first of all, it's not the same. Okay. And excuse me, even if it was the same, for not breaking my heart, but getting a little bit of what comes around goes around. That being said, okay, we're big free speech advocates here. Okay, I don't think the government should take Jimmy Kimmel off the air. It doesn't look like they did. I know some people are saying, well, Donald Trump threatened the network, ABC or whatever it is, to take Jimmy Kimmel off. Donald Trump had to threaten a network to get rid of a show that was hemorrhaging money? Probably not, but whatever. Whatever, we're open-minded here. But I don't think so. And even if he did, he'd be doing him a favor. Jimmy Kimmel sucks. Let's listen to a little Jimmy Kimmel here, okay? Well, first of all, we will save that. Let's play this one.
Over the weekend, with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
Hilarious, right? Aren't you all going to miss Jimmy Kimmel? Let's pull up some of his videos here He's the number one trend on Twitter right now with Antifa, of course, because why wouldn't he be trending with Antifa? But here's a good one. Here's an old one of him celebrating Tucker Carlson getting fired.
That's really what Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means. Tucker couldn't be reached for comment. He's already on a plane to Moscow to meet with his manager. But what a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is. Now Tucker can spend more time at home tanning his testicles and touching himself to that sexy green M&M. Sadly, he's probably not done poisoning old people's brains. The question now is, where will he do it next? Will he go to OAN? Will he go to Newsmax? Will he crawl back up Satan's fiery beehole from whence he came? We don't know. One of the most despicable mother Tuckers ever to appear on American television.
Well, imagine that. What goes around comes around, I guess. See, the difference is Tucker Carlson now has a podcast that is more successful than his Fox News show ever was. Jimmy Kimmel is going to get to go out into the marketplace of ideas and become the next Don Lemon. So I hope he really enjoys getting to go to YouTube and see how much his show was really worth, because his jokes suck and he's not funny at all. Thought we had one more. Yeah, here we go.
Trying to characterize this. We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House...
Sorry, that was the beginning of the last one again, but as you can see there, just to reiterate, Jimmy Kimmel is trying to claim the guy that assassinated Charlie Kirk was a MAGA Republican. You know, the guy that all his family says, grew up conservative, but then completely rejected his family, moved in with his tranny boyfriend. The kind of shit Republicans do. Who hated Charlie Kirk, who sent text messages about how disgusted he was by Charlie Kirk and how he thought Charlie Kirk was full of hate, so he was going to have to kill him. That's the, type of stuff MAGA Republicans do. You should have just known he was a leftist by the fact that he assassinated somebody. Okay? So that's what leftists do. They shoot Steve Scalise. They burn your cities down. They shoot Charlie Kirk. I mean, it's all about violence and destruction on the left. Okay? That's what they do. That is what their ideology allows, because they believe in victory by any means necessary, even by shooting people in the neck for the crime of wanting to debate on public campuses. And Jimmy Kimmel, I mean, we could go even farther back into COVID, where he was one of those people, pushing the vax lies, one of the people, pushing down the lockdown lies. He has been wrong on everything. And he hides behind this idea that he's a comedian. He's not. He's some kind of, political hack. To be a comedian, you have to be funny. So nobody is going to miss Jimmy Kimmel. And the good news is, again, this isn't the type of cancellation that the Republicans had to go through. He's still free to go to YouTube. He's still free to be on Twitter. He can still post his videos on Facebook. All things that were not allowed, during COVID, when the Republicans were really getting canceled. When, that one night they just decided to kick Alex Jones off every single platform. That's not happening to Jimmy Kimmel. He can still go out there and he can have his show online just like everybody else and see how good it really is. See how many people really want to listen to him. So I'm tired of this shit, hearing about how, oh my God, Republicans love cancel culture now, all this stuff. It's not the same. It's not even close to the same. Okay. It just isn't. Sorry. ABC doesn't have to hire you and let you lose all their money. He sucks. So what? On that, we'll leave Jimmy Kimmel alone and move on more to some of the Charlie Kirk reactions, because Jimmy Kimmel was just one of many people trying to tie this assassin back to Republicans, which is, of course, complete bullshit. Let me be completely clear. Okay. The Tyler Robinson, the guy that assassinated Charlie Kirk, was a leftist. We don't have to sit here for law enforcement to determine his motives. We have his text messages. We know that he said Charlie Kirk was someone that was filled with hate and he felt like he had to kill him. We know from his family that he went off the left-wing deep end. We know from him dating a tranny. Probably not a right-wing guy. And then he shoots Charlie Kirk, which, of course, something a Republican would do, right? It's outrageous, of course. So we've been seeing all sorts of posts here about people. There's all sorts of takes, okay? And let's start with the selective outrage argument. There are posts going all around, mostly Instagram that I've been seeing them. But it'll start out like this. It'll say, Charlie Kirk didn't deserve to die. And the but's coming right away. So they say that he didn't deserve to die, but all the people speaking out about Charlie Kirk's death, where were they when Palestinians were getting killed on October 8th? Where were they during some school shooting? Where were they in all these different tragedies? As if, as conservatives or Americans or Charlie Kirk fans or whatever, we're just like required to go on social media about every bad thing that happens. That's how you become a miserable liberal. Spending all this time on social media posting about how much you hate the world. No. There is nothing wrong with going online to post your disgust at the highest profile political assassination in over half a century, especially if it's someone who, a podcast you listen to, tons of people listen to the Charlie Kirk show. Having him be assassinated, people are perfectly justified in speaking out against that without going out and speaking out against every wrong since the Old Testament. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. People can take issue with, again, I know I called it the most high profile political assassination in half a century, most of our lifetimes. Okay? But be outraged by the killing of somebody who wanted to go to college campuses and encourage debate. Somebody who really felt that it was their job to bring the message of Christ to people who weren't believers. Charlie Kirk felt it was his job to let young adults know there was another path for them that could lead to a happy family, home ownership, etc. A path that was different than just pursuing a career at some soulless company, renting your whole life, never getting married, never having children. There is a different path. And Charlie Kirk wanted to let people know that other path, the path of religion, of pursuing a family life, that is a path that provides happiness. Okay, because he cared about people. That's why he wanted to bring that message to them, even in a place where he was reviled. And he was shot and killed for it. That's all he was ever trying to do. Okay, it was just, he was exercising his First Amendment rights and was murdered for it. So I'm sick and tired of these ridiculous posts about selective outrage. Oh, if you're mad about Charlie Kirk, then you better be mad about X, Y, and Z thing, as if we're required to care about whatever issues that the stupid leftists online want us to. Okay? Things can be tragic, like a school shooting. Okay? We don't have to take to social media every time one happens. But if our favorite podcast host gets executed in front of our eyes, we can speak out about that if we want to. You cannot tell people what they get to be mad about, especially not something as outrageous as this. So, sorry. Cut out all the selective outrage bullshit. What we witnessed was more outrageous than anything I've probably seen in my entire life. People can speak out about that without being chastised by someone with purple hair who hates their own life. The next type of argument that I've been seeing a lot online, and this one's even more disgusting, really, is about how ironic it was. Charlie Kirk was a Second Amendment advocate, and then he got shot. And how he'd even, people are playing clips about how Charlie had even mentioned before that the price of having a society where guns are allowed is that people get shot. And people hold that clip up as evidence that you shouldn't feel bad for Charlie Kirk or his family. You shouldn't feel sad because he died. He deserved it because he's a Second Amendment lover. He said that's the price, so he should be executed in 4K in front of the world. It's a sick and disgusting argument. Okay. Because number one, the point Charlie Kirk was making was a real one. What he said exactly was 50,000 people die in car accidents every year. Yet we don't ban cars. As a society, we've decided that the expediency cars provide, all the luxury we get from having cars, outweighs the risk that you could die in a car accident, which is very real. Many people do. And it's sad and it's tragic, but we're not banning cars because of it. Guns are the same way. Guns allow us to live in a free society. It's really the final check and balance against the government as an armed populace. And in order to have our free society, and in order to make sure we can fight back against the government, something that we have to deal with is that we allow guns, and that means people get shot. And that does happen. That does not mean it is okay for political assassination to occur, or that people can't be pro-gun and then just, expect to be assassinated. That doesn't follow, okay? Charlie Kirk, especially in this situation, because one of the arguments that people hate that he makes is this pro-Second Amendment one. So it doesn't follow that because he gets to make this pro-Second Amendment argument because he has First Amendment rights, or at least he did, it does not follow that you can then murder him. And that could be ironic or whatever it is. No, that's stupid. That argument doesn't even make sense. So, I want to find here more. I mean, it's. Let me see if I can find an actual post here for you guys. Give you an idea of exactly what people are saying. Michael Keaton, that was it. A great actor. I wish so many of these great actors weren't just complete retards. Let's see if I can find this here for you guys. Let me... Yeah, Michael Keaton says, because in the end, shooting people will never answer anything. And the irony that he was killed with a gun is unbelievable. Again, speaking to the fact that Charlie Kirk was pro-gun, which apparently is a capital offense, according to left-wingers now. There's a great Babylon Bee post, because people are saying, well, this is why we need gun control. He was shot with a hunting rifle. Even the most rabid leftists, when they propose their gun control laws, aren't including hunting rifles. This gun never would have been banned in the bills Charlie Kirk opposed. Okay, this was a bolt-action hunting rifle. So it's wrong on its face, that this entire argument. It's completely wrong. He was not killed with any type of controversial weapon. It's just I'm trying to even just put myself in the headspace of somebody who listened to what Charlie Kirk said about guns and think that you could then say, well, this is why we need gun control. So you're going to take all guns? You'd have to. If you're going to justify taking hunting rifles, you've already justified taking away every other firearm. Pardon me. So that's what the leftists want. Imagine that. So the leftists get to murder, okay, one of the top conservatives in the country, and then they're going to use that murder to push an agenda they've wanted this entire time. How convenient that is for them. Okay. And it's a wonder. It was a great Babylon Bee post. Babylon Bee says, it's a wonder that conservatives won't give up their guns, says Democrats while shooting at Republicans. And that really kind of sums it all up. If Republicans are going to get murdered in public for their views, that is a greater incentive to not give up our guns. Okay, remember when BLM burned down all our cities? Yeah, we're not giving up our guns. No, because the left doesn't want the government to be able to protect you either. Remember, most of those people that burned down all those shopping centers, they were never prosecuted. They were let off by the Biden administration. That's why there was the biggest explosion in gun sales this country had ever had, because people realized the cops weren't going to come save them. And they tried to defund the police too. All you would have had to protect yourself is your firearms. And now they want to take those too. And if you don't bend the knee, they're going to kill you. Just like they did to Charlie Kirk. And believe me, there's going to be more attacks. They already tried to kill Donald Trump. They killed Charlie Kirk. There will be more attacks. And every time they do, every time some leftist kills a conservative, they're going to tell you, well, if you'd have just given up your guns, maybe this leftist would stop killing people. Maybe the leftists wouldn't have to kill the conservatives anymore if you guys would just bend the knee and give up all your guns and rights. Stop speaking on college campuses. Stop having firearms. Then maybe we'll consider stopping killing you. Absolutely not. Fuck these people and their agenda. Okay? They don't get to tell us that they want to take our guns so that they will stop murdering us. It's the most backwards, fucked up shit you can imagine. It really, really is. To say it's ironic, he got shot because he was pro-2A. As if thinking our population needs to be able to defend itself from the government somehow justifies murder. Absolutely outrageous. If you guys don't know who Destiny is, okay, he's a left-wing influencer who has been celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. And there are a lot of leftists out there that have been celebrating online, high-profile leftists, okay, people like Elon Omar, people like Destiny, who are celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk. they think that conservatives should have to fear for their life. They think that Republicans are evil people because they love their guns. They love their guns. They love their religion. They love their communities. And so they deserve to die. And most importantly, they love their president. Man, you listen to Destiny, he just talks about, man, Donald Trump, if Donald Trump had toned it down, maybe we wouldn't have had to kill Charlie Kirk. He's sick and twisted. Let's play a video from Destiny here.
Shout the crime statistics? Not exactly like...
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing video games. Okay, I'm done today. I don't give a fuck. God, it's gonna be so fucking gay if I get killed in the next fucking 2 months of shit I'm doing. Well,
so there you go. There is one of the most prominent leftists on YouTube right there. You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed so that their leaders will turn down the temperature. Because it's Donald Trump supporters out there shooting people. It's not the leftists that burned down Minneapolis. There were no Antifa riots in Seattle. Okay, remember, those were all MAGA Republicans. So it's just like what Jimmy Kimmel would say, right? This guy, this assassin was one of theirs, a MAGA Republican. Just in case you guys didn't hear that right, you need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that their leaders will turn down the temperature. Absolutely. I'm not even sure what Destiny said there. Again, free speech guy. It sounds like he's advocating for the killing of conservatives. That's how sick these leftists are. I'm telling you, it is a mind virus. They believe that Donald Trump is so evil, okay, that his supporters deserve to be killed in public. On Twitter for everybody to see. You heard Destiny right there. He's completely deranged. And this isn't a guy, I know some of you guys probably never heard of this guy. You wouldn't come across him in most of our algorithms. But he's got millions of YouTube followers. He is a big personality on YouTube. I mean, here's another clip of him on Piers Morgan.
Speech on TV where she talked about good versus evil. She's the one showing up in
Destiny,
TPUSA ads to somebody's grief against the other party. Well, then, of course, people have a right to fight back against it. I think that she has every right to grieve in whatever way she wants. Somebody's
They're
grief.
talking about Erica Kirk. Destiny was mocking Erica Kirk after Charlie was killed. Here he is getting called out for it in his response.
Against the other party, well, then, of course, people have a right to fight back against it. I think that she has every right to grieve in whatever way she wants, but when that grief is going to be weaponized to do recruitment, political recruitment, and further radicalization of the other side, then, of course, you not only have the ability to mock it, I think you have the obligation to mock it. It's insane.
Let me understand. Let me understand your argument. So since others are using her grief to politically recruit, you think that it's okay to mock her specifically?
Since others are using her grief, she's the one who gave a 17-minute speech on TV where she talked about good versus evil. She's the one showing up in TPUSA ads to 1 or 2 days after.
If someone assassinated my husband, I would not be able to have the level of composure she had during that speech. I would be out for blood. I understand why she's angry and why she said the things that she said. Okay, you need to understand what being a human is, what it's like to actually lose someone that you love, that you chose to spend your life with, that you chose to raise children with, a person who was violently and viciously assassinated like that. This is why I've moved away
and when
from
something
identifying as
you got bullied online. It's so funny. It's so funny that you just said that you don't.
We can just cut it off right there because they start yelling over each other. But And it's completely right. Obviously. I mean, to make fun of Erica for mourning her husband after he was assassinated. I mean, these people have no souls, man. They're really just the worst of the worst. And there are left to thousands of them that are doing all sorts of coke, man. They're making fun of Erica. They're pretending, that this shooter was actually a MAGA Republican. We don't really know his motivations, really. Yes, you fucking do. Okay. Oh, well, you want to be outraged about this, but that's just selective outrage. Oh, but he was a Second Amendment supporter. How ironic that he got shot and killed, right? Why don't you just give up all your guns? Then we can stop killing you. Why don't you just tell your leaders to tone down the rhetoric, and then maybe we'll stop executing conservatives in public. It's all such bullshit. These people cannot be worked with. They cannot be compromised with. They are out to destroy their fellow Americans. They are out to destroy our society. Okay? A civil society cannot be kept with people like this out there. How can you? How can you have somebody who, like Destiny out in the world, who is calling for the deaths of his political opponents? Okay? By the way, political opponents who just want to be left alone. Conservatives out here aren't preaching giant government with giant spy networks and all the crap that the leftists love. We want small government so people can live their lives. Okay? Their ideology is inherently evil. Big government is inherently evil. Ours is not. The worst thing we could ever do to anybody is leave them alone too much. And they can't stand that people like Charlie Kirk were effective at spreading that message. That's why they hated him. That's why they had to kill him. And that's why they're still on social media doing victory laps about his death, because they're generally happy he has died because it was a real blow to the right. It is going to make it harder to recruit young people because Charlie was the best at it. And now that they killed him, they have a better chance moving forward. And that's why they're so happy. That's why people like Jimmy Kimmel are getting fired, because the lying, the obfuscation around his death, okay, is really hitting home. It really is, because it really matters that he was killed. I really hope we can find a way to all move forward together here and save our republic, because it's not looking good. But it's worth saving. It is. I think we can convince the whole next generation that collectivism is evil, big government is evil, and that we need to slash the size of government drastically. This whole leftist ideology is evil. It's a lot to do with culture too. It really is. But that's a conversation for another day. We'll continue talking about the death of Charlie Kirk and what it means to everybody, the fallout from all this, because this has been really revealing. I know that there are a lot of people you guys probably know personally who have been making posts like we've talked about today that, I've unfollowed people. I'm sure you guys have too. It really helps expose the people out there that are truly sick. The people that deep down, even if they are just posting some, a selective outrage post, those people are glad Charlie Kirk is dead. They really think he was out there spreading hate because he wanted to teach people about his religion and have debates. The left doesn't want debates. They want to shut it down. It's tough out there, guys. I get it. This has been a tough week, but we will be back to you next week with the latest. Thanks for listening.